It's a beautiful day, man, and we're getting ready for the season. And I got a boat, maybe an anchor here, but I'm hoping it's not for the guy. So we're gonna go through a full build on this boat. This is a resurrection of a boat anchor. Let's check it out. This is a nightmare to get this out of here. And you look at all the wiring harnesses and everything in here, and cats on a boat. Oh man, what's the world coming to? Anyway, we got to get all this hardware and everything out of here, out of our way. And Tyson's gonna get this motor out, and we'll tear it down and find out what the heck's wrong with it. How you gonna go about this? We got to get this frame out of the way.
So you get all the covers off. I'll get these bags out, and then you got to work on getting the seat out. And then with the seat out, you then work on getting
this
the frame out,
yeah.
And then you have access to taking the whole assembly out.
Then it shouldn't be that difficult. But boat guys, share your tricks. I don't hide nothing. Sometimes that's a bad thing. I guess I should be a little more reserved. But anybody got any suggestions, man? Help us out.
Meanwhile,
you know I'm losing my mind around here sometimes, and I'm telling you, I use therapy. I'd tell anybody, you'll be stronger in your personal relationships, in your working relationships, and you'll be able to solve the broke down misfire between your ears. As a mechanic, we already face a lot of problems, man. We're fixing cars all day long. It's tough, and then you got your personal life. Tyson, I've used therapy a few times in my life, right?
Yep, you have.
I've got an idea. BetterHelp, who's today's sponsor of this, is one of the largest online therapy services. I'm going to offer this service to all the employees as part of their benefit package. I'm going to include 6 sessions a year for it, because I know if their mind's clear and they've got peace in their heart and in their soul, they're so much more effective. They do better work. Don't let things that are bothering you, like depression, finances, separation, breakups, or whatever, that's hindering their ability to move forward in their life.
That'd be great, because they can do it at home. They can do it with their wives if it's available.
Wives? You think any of these guys got problems with their wives?
We all
Or
have.
is it just me? Being online, I love that, because it makes it easy. They're licensed professionals. It's a safe environment. You're in your home privately, and it's very affordable and effective. Click on the link below at betterhelp.com/DAC, and you'll get 10% off your first month. Try it. It's a great service. Online therapy is crazy good. I love it. Kick your feet up, have a session. You don't even have to worry about traffic.
gonna zip this off real quick.
Okay guys, we're finally starting the teardown of this 6-liter. We're gonna see what's going on, what the failure is. This is sometimes a really fun part because we really get to find out what went wrong and what we need to do to fix it. So let's get this thing apart and see what the crap has happened.
So building boat engines, and that's what this is a little different. What we found is that the front to rear deck height was over 15 thou different. So by the time we would have corrected that, our compression would have been through the roof.
I'd have had to do all kinds of different stuff to make it work, so we just went with a different block.
We just went with a different block. We also found that they had the wrong cam in the boat. They didn't have enough lobe separation.
So what we found on this engine is that the incorrect camshaft was installed. The original person that made the motor, they used an automotive camshaft, which leaves the intake valve stuck open longer so it ingests seawater. So you can see all the calcium buildup and water.
We feel that's an important thing because what you'll start to do, you know, your intake stroke on it's actually the exhaust stroke.
Will overlap.
Your overlap, you can actually suck water up into your motor.
And that we did actually find that on this boat originally. The intake was full of water. So without speccing the cam out and having, you know, a cam card on the cam that came out of that engine, it's speculation to say the least, but the cam that was in there was a truck cam, so we put 114 degree lobe separation cam in this to solve that issue.
Okay.
We did put a little bit more ring gap on it. You know, these boats, they're just hanging out at $5 constantly, and there's a lot of load on them, so you get a lot of heat in those rings. So we put a little bit extra gap on those rings so we're not butting any rings. I think the biggest thing with the boat is your camshaft. You've always got to make you got the right cam in there. Boats have a lot of load on the bottom end, so you want to make sure that cam has got that power at the bottom end until you get up there.
We're going with the VVT cam.
It is a VVT. It's an L96 block, which is a VVT. They don't have the fuel management, luckily. But we are actually putting a limiter in the VVT so it doesn't have the full degrees of retardation in it.
Well, we ought to get this guy straightened out. Anything different on the, we're just using a hyper-eutectic piston?
Flat top piston, 0 decked. We're about 9.5 to 1 on the compression ratio, and it should be a totally different boat for this guy.
All right, cool.
The next day.
Hey everybody, look at this. It's time. It's summertime. We got to get the boats back in the water. Good, we got this steel plate on this, not the aluminum one. So we won't lose any of our oil pressure through that. These are, don't do an LS or an LT, any motor that doesn't have a steel plate on the oil pump, they'll leak. Same on the Fords, they leak. You lose oil pressure under, and on a boat, high rev, it spends most of its time, you do not want to be losing oil pressure. What else, Tyson?
Just getting ready to start putting my front covers on, getting them lined up, get my oil pan on so we can get it over for sim.
Now, this is the one we've got the catalytic converters on, and we've got that handled?
We sent them out, they said they flow tested, so whether they still function, like reducing the catalyst, we'll see, but they said they weren't plugged.
They weren't plugged. Okay, so we're gonna put them back on there and see if they'll work?
Yep.
Okay, but we won't know whether they're actually functioning until we fire them up and get them hot, and if they light up. It has to have an exothermic reaction. What comes in is one temperature, and if it's coming out the backside of the cat, it's the easiest way to tell if a cat's dead. The cat I'm talking about does not have 9 lives, it's got 1 of them. And so the front temperature, let's say it's 300-400 degrees. If it's not hotter coming out the back, the substrate is dead, it doesn't work, so that's what we're gonna be checking. All right, so how much longer, Tyson? Gonna install this tomorrow?
I got a few more things to do. I got to clean the hull out.
Oh, yes.
Get it pressure washed and make sure I got my hoses and a few fittings, and then we'll.
That's Tyson. He's talking about the 10% that makes the job right, you know? We could just stuff that motor, but why we got it all out, that's the time to wash the hull and all that out of there and clean all that out of the bottom of that, so when the customer gets it back, he's like looking at, you know, basically a brand new situation. And that little extra, my secret, that's it, man. It's that last 3%, you know, that puts it, the shine on it.
Don't pay for it up front.
want it level?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's looking pretty good, bro. You all ready to put that in there?
Might have to just move a few things, push a few things out of the way, but yeah.
Man, nothing like an overhead crane. Ready? Variable speed. You gotta go towards the front of the boat, don't you, Tyson?
Yes, I'm gonna shimmy it once I get it in. I gotta do my
Okay.
feeler gauge around my flange.
You ready?
Yep.
Still looking good?
Yep.
Eric, you good?